Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, July 28th. So welcome to the new moon in Leo day. We also have Jupiter going retrograde today. If you haven't listened to the new moon in Leo astro forecast, I'm going to recommend you do that. If you haven't listened to Jupiter going retrograde, I'm going to recommend you do that. It is very important for you to understand that these particular astro events happening only 2 hours and 20 minutes within each other is definitely going to create a lot more intensity than what we would have if it was only one event. Now, the moon has been in Cancer for the last couple of days, making it a very emotional time. We should have recognized where it is that we don't feel emotionally safe, secure, stable, where it is that in our home, in our family dynamics, that things are popping off, that drama is coming up in order to be resolved, where inner child healing work is absolutely necessary, and if nothing else, where boundaries have been tested and in some cases totally destroyed in order to make us sit in the darkness, sit in the funk, recognize where we are overly attached, where we are blocking our own blessings in order to prepare us for this new moon energy. So the moon in Cancer went void, of course. Last night, we locked into Leo energy, 2:37 a.m. This morning. There are 7 different aspects taking place today. 5 of them involve the moon. If you have not downloaded your moon guide, please go ahead and do so. It is going to be imperative that you do the work, the shadow work necessary in order to clean the skeletons out of your closet to align to this beautiful, beautiful and abundant, blessed energy coming in from the new moon in Leo. So there's a whole section in the new moon guide of the aspects taking place when the new moon is at its most potent energy. What we're going to talk about here today in the energy forecast is the energies and the aspects building up towards the new moon peak. They are very different. They bring a very different vibe, very different message. We need to use this as a framework, as a grid in order to do the work that we need to do to align with the energies coming in. So the moon right out of the gate, fresh into this Leo energy, is going to make a very harmonious aspect with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. He likes to shake us up. There's sudden change coming, sudden transformation coming. He gives us a light bulb moment. We have aha moments that shift our perspective, that shift our understanding. And because he's in Taurus energy, this is likely going to be very related to our physical realms, where our routines, relationships, and money matters are concerned. Now, this particular energy is firing us up in all the right ways. Why? Because the bold, brave courage that is needed is being unleashed and unlocked under this new moon in Leo. And we are finally bold and brave and courageous enough to do what we got to do to make the change, the transformation that we've been hesitant in making. The moon goes ahead and makes a positive aspect with the true node. If you downloaded the moon guide, you would know how important the Uranian and true node conjunction is, not only under this new moon in Leo, but at the end of this month and moving into August, what this means for us collectively and individually. The moon interacting with the true node, which is our soul's point, our destiny's point, suggests that we have the inspiration, the motivation, the balls, if you will, in order to take the next step forward, to get on the right path of our soul's mission, our soul's purpose. That Uranian energy opens us up, makes us more adaptable to change, to do the transformation needed in order to see the new reality that we're praying for and that we're actively trying to manifest come into fruition a little bit quicker. And then the true node provides us the next puzzle piece, the next step forward, the next action that we can take. At 1:55 p.m., this is when the moon conjuncts the sun. This is what gives us our new moon in Leo. Typically speaking, the moon, our emotions, unconscious self, our old patterns, behaviors, and state of being overlaps with the sun, which is our ego, our vitality, our life force energy, shining a bright light on what it is that we have to embody if we want the change, if we want the big vision, the big dream, the big picture that now our heart and soul is inspired to pursue. 4:10 p.m., Jupiter goes retrograde. Jupiter, period, is going to intensify all of our thoughts, all of our feels. He's a very important player under the new moon energy. In the moon guide, we talk about where he's at and what he's doing and how he influences us under the peak new moon energy. Now with Jupiter going retrograde and joining all the other heavy hitting planets in the retrograde, we're going to have to retrace our steps. We're going to have to slow down. Instead of pursuing and actively pushing forward in our external realm, we're going to have to sit within ourselves and reflect over all the action that we've taken, all the changes that we've made, all the plans that maybe we need to revise before pushing ourselves forward. This is when we gain huge perspective. Again, listen to the astro forecast for Jupiter going retrograde. We'll talk a little bit more in depth on what that is all about. We have Mercury, who is in Leo, squaring, which is getting in the boxing ring, fighting it out, with Uranus, the great awakener, who is in Taurus energy. What's interesting about this is that Uranus is the higher level intellect, the part of us, the crown, if you will, that it connects to the higher realms of intelligence. This is when we get new ideas, light bulb moments, aha moments, inspiration. This is when we gain intelligence and insight, the big vision that we're actually able to bring into our physical bodies and do something with. Mercury is the lower level intellect. This is where we bring these insights, these inspirations into our egoic mental plane, and we add logic and practicality to it. Now, Mercury is in Leo, making it very vocal, embodying the roar of the lion, if you will. What we're going to get from this little confrontational interaction is a sudden shift, a tension, a nervousness, a disruption to our thinking patterns and to how it is that we're actually communicating ourselves. Now, let me just say, this Uranian energy affects the central nervous system. We are hyper stimulated. Everything is big, everything is dramatic, everything is extra. We're in a new moon. We have Jupiter magnifying everything. This particular aspect is adding a lot of electricity to our physical bodies. This can also mean, though, that we get a sudden flash of insight on where it is that we need to go, a fresh new idea. We might not be able to piece together because, again, we have to bring the insight in from the higher realms that we don't quite understand and then try to make sense of it in the lower level intellect. But the information is there. The trigger is there. The spark is there. This may also put us in a little bit of a jitteriness type of state of being. It might also put ants in our pants. We're a little bit restless. We want to make sense. We want to take action. We're in a new moon. Action is not needed. We need to sit in stillness. We need to reflect. We need to be calm. But these energies are going to make us feel like we're supposed to do otherwise. This particular aspect is going to disrupt the whole apple cart. It's going to make us just scatterbrained. We're not going to be able to focus. And even more than that, because Mercury is in Leo and we're bold and we're brave and we're courageous and we just want to speak and get our thoughts and our feelings out, our information, our truth might come out in a way that actually hurts and offends other people. That is the downside of Mercury being in Leo. If you need a refresher on what this energy brings, please go listen to the forecast. What we know to be true is that there's a lot of information coming in that doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like it makes sense. Doesn't feel like we know what to do with it. It's going to take some time. Again, new moon, we need to be patient. We need to understand that there's no action, there's no aha moments until the moon becomes visible in the sky once again. There's a couple of days for us to sit in the darkness in order for that to actually take place. This particular aspect between Mercury and Uranus is going to shake our mental plane up in order for us to crack it wide open so that when things start clicking and the puzzle pieces come together and we start gaining a little bit bigger, broader vision of what all of these downloads actually mean, we're able to run with it. But right now, it can feel like we have a cluster F going on in our headspace. Now, to add to that, we have the moon in Leo trining with Jupiter, who just went retrograde. What we know to be true, Jupiter magnifies everything. He turns the volume up on everything. What we know to be true is that the moon in Leo is hella spicy, hella dramatic. Okay. What we know with the moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is that we're having big thoughts, big feels. We want more. We're inspired. We're motivated. We want to take action. We want to grow. We want to improve, but the universe is pumping the brakes. So this again can lead to a lot of ants in our pants, a lot of anxiety, a lot of edginess because we have all this energy in us. We can't make sense of it. We don't know what we're doing with it, but we know we should be doing something. But that something is actually rest, recalibration. We need to be introverted under a new moon in order for this information to settle in. And we wrap the day up with the moon bumping into Neptune in a way that would suggest that we have a disconnect from our intuition because our ego, again, the sun rules over Leo, so we are a little bit more in the ego than not. The ego seems to have a little bit more control over our thoughts and over our emotions than our higher self and our intuition does. Now, let me just say, Neptune energy, very hypersensitive, very overwhelming. This Leo energy, super dramatic, okay? Jupiter, magnifying everything. New moon, hella intensity. This has the potential to put us in such a state that we just want to curl up in a ball, bury our head in the sand, sleep it off until the day is over. What we know is that this Piscean energy that Neptune is sitting in can be overwhelmed, overstimulated, oversensitive enough for us to want to disassociate from reality and to want to numb our thoughts and our feelings. There's a lot of thoughts and feelings here today. It would be very, very welcome for us to just numb it out because we don't know what to do with it. But numbing isn't the way that we heal. We have to feel in order to heal. So I do want to caution to you that today's energy is going to be very intense, that it's going to feel very chaotic and crazy within you, that you're going to feel like you want to take action, move forward, and do something big when realistically what you need to do is lay down. Chill out, let the information come in and settle. Let your body kind of catch up with the informational downloads that your energetic body is getting. And for God's sake, please do not numb, okay? Do not turn to drugs. Do not turn to alcohol. Do not stuff your face full of junk food and processed foods. Do not do this to yourself. You're only prolonging the process of actually healing what needs to be healed in order for you to manifest the dreams, the vision, the plans that you should be focused on manifesting under this new moon energy.